So after clearing my exam, I just got a lot of questions from my friends like, how was the exam? Are the Maggie limits asked in the exam? Like, how was my experience? Like earlier, I just shared my flow charts to my friends. Like they just told those were really helpful, and they asked to share the revision notes like that, and some questions regarding the exam. So I just thought, so let me just discuss that today. So before that, I would just say, so make yourself a short notes or revision notes or flowcharts like something like that. It would be really helpful to you. So I'd be showing you my sample notes, how it looks like. So so for the entire part one, it just took me like less than 3 hours to revise entire uh, EA part one syllabus with the help of my smart notes. So these are some sample notes. So this is like with respect to the taxpayer interest penalties, 1040 due dates to file and extensions, and something like adoption credit. Uh, who is that? The type of adoption, the qualifying expenses, and MFS they can't file like that. Maggie limits, casualty and theft clauses in case of qualifying disaster, and in case of gain, election, normal disaster, qualified disaster, charity, qualified organizations, limits with respect to that, property, cash, etc. And end income credit and 10% penalty exceptions with respect to these three. And gift tax. This is everything with respect to the gift tax. That is who must file, what is not considered as gift. So all these concepts, HSA, like who should contribute choice to apply tax, testing period penalties, not eligible, high deductible health plan coverage, deduction out of pocket expenses, qualified expenses, unqualified expenses, penalties. So this is everything with respect to this concept. This is more than enough if you want to uh, prepare for the exam. It will be like 65 to 75 pages. Medical expenses, armed forces, payment plans. This is something like smart note, short-term payment plans, long-term payment plans. Uh, that's it. 199 QBI deduction, refund of taxes, how, when, time limit to apply, limited to wrong claim of refund, apportionment of rental expenses, standard deduction, something like that. So if you want my short notes, that is like 65 pages around, which covers mostly the key important topics of all part one syllabus, you can WhatsApp me on this number 8328253308. Again, I'm repeating 8328253308 on my WhatsApp. I'll be setting you. So coming to the questions part, can I self-study? So if you are already in US taxation field, you can go for self-study uh, since you are in the same field. But if you are new to US taxation, I would just say we need proper coaching because the terminology which you see is entirely different. That with the help of proper faculty, it would be more conceptual understanding. So that's it. So again, how much time is needed for part one? It would take around 100 to 150 hours for the coaching, and you need additional 100 hours in order to revise the concepts and do cumulative revision, So I would just say 200 to 250 hours is what needed for you. And are Maggie limits given in the exam? No, they were not given. You need to remember all the Maggie limits. Only for the important you need to remember, not for everything. uh, how deeper questions will be asked. So basically, the questions will be like basic to moderate. They will not deep dive into all this more and more. So that's it. So around out of 100, I would say 40 to 60 is what you can do comfortably if you are good with the subject, and the rest 20 to 25 will be like somewhat tricky. You had to read the question twice, and you had to read the question slow, so then you can properly do that questions. So out of 100 you can expect like 4 to 6 questions out of your book, which for which you can apply the common sense, you can eliminate the options, you can crack them as well. So when it comes to which part should I take first, you should go with the part one. I would say it would give you it will give you strong base. Then you can go for part three, then you can go for part two. Oh, that's it. So if you want to easily correlate, you can go for part 1 and part 2 also, but part 1 will be vast, part 2 will be little bit tough. If you do both immediately, it will be a burden to you. So I'll suggest part 1 first, part 3 next, and part 2 later. So how many MCQs and mock tests should I solve? So you should do a lot of MCQs, especially with respect to like core areas where you will be doing a lot of mistakes. So simply like fringe benefits are taxable or not, achievement awards are taxable or not, what is the maximum limit? In so like this type of questions you can easily solve. They will be like one or two lines. But when it comes to tricky questions or conceptual practical uh, questions will be asked. So for example, I would say uh, for credits QC versus qualifying child versus qualifying relative, rent apportionment, IRA calculation, section 121 exclusion, main home exclusion. Okay, charity, medical and dental expenses, mortgage interest, all these concepts you need a lot of conceptual clarity, and you should do a lot of MCQs so that you can do comfortably in your exam. So, and can I focus on weightage? I would just say no, because the questions are all scattered across the 100 MCQs. I mean, the chapters are all scattered, and if you leave any one or two chapters, it would be really tough for you to crack the exam. So, the IRS official blueprint, it gives like these are the weightages 14, 14, 17, 15, 4, 11, and 12. But I would just say stick with your book, whatever material you've been preparing, and to focus on all the concepts rather than on the weightage. So, so what is the best way to remember all the limits? So, nothing, just the cumulative reason. And do we need to learn all the forms? No. So basically the forms will be like, let me just take an example for multiple support agreement. 2120 is the form. So in the exam they will give like which is the multiple support agreement form. 2120 8960 8959 7004, like that. So you can easily pick the correct form once you have at least a rough idea. But if you are completely unaware of it, you cannot do. So it will not be tricky like 2120, like that. It will not be tricky. You can easily identify and solve and like choose that if you have at least some idea. So is 3.5 are enough in the exam? That is absolutely enough. So my only tip which I am giving is that, like, just if you find any MCQ like too much time taking, just move on to, like, skip the question and move on to another one. Don't waste the time, don't get stuck at the same question. So remember that 100 questions should be solved in 3.5 hours. So for each MCQ, like maximum 2 minutes is you can spare. That's it. So each short notes really helpful. So you can't really revise the entire book in a shorter span before the exam. So make yourself a short notes. If you are unable to do that short notes, I'm providing you the short notes. You can WhatsApp me. I'll give you the entire 65 pages of short notes. Okay. And can I use ChatGPT? I would just say yes and no, because for conceptual clarity you can refer to ChatGPT. You can ask it number of questions, it will give you. The more and more you ask, the more and more it will give. But when it comes to practical problems, MCQs, ChatGPT is absolutely waste, because it will give you outdated values. It will relate to some older concepts like that. It will always give some wrong values, so that it would be really uh, not helpful to you. And is calculator given in the exam? Yes, it was given. So along with that, two pencils and two rough sheets also given, so you can comfortably do your exam. So I hope that I told all the questions. And one more thing, I would just say always check current year limits before you are preparing, and do cumulative revision for at least 30 minutes daily, and with respect to the forms and limits, all the concepts. Because if you if there is a gap, it all feels like a fresh whenever you open the book after some point of time. So learn always what IRS wants from you. Don't expect whatever you learn it would come in the exam. Like, whatever you feel learning it, don't learn in that way. So that's it. Thank you.